She's essentially said her coach doesn't want her to play her game. And it's very clear that the Indiana Fever don't want Caitlin to be Caitlin.
I think that everyone saw that we kind of got some flow when Kate was hurt and our offense was clicking.
Part 1. She's basically saying the quiet part out loud now. Her coach, yes, her own coach, doesn't want her to fully play her game. It's as if the Indiana Fever have made a collective decision. Caitlin Clark cannot be Caitlin Clark. You heard that right.
Post-interview, you gonna say that you trying to reintegrate CC, my precious CC, into an offense. What? She's the superstar. That means you should be trying to integrate all the other players.
And it's not coming from whispers in the hallway or anonymous sources. It's right there in plain sight. And you better believe Sophie Cunningham has clocked it too. And she is not sitting back politely, sipping her water and pretending everything is fine. Oh no, Sophie's voice just got a whole lot louder. She stepped into the media spotlight and set off an earthquake in the WNBA. No coy phrases, no subtle shade. Sophie Cunningham took the mic and fired shots directly at the top. And her target? Stephanie White, head coach of the Fever. The accusation? Trying to shove Caitlin Clark into a pre-made system instead of making Caitlin Clark the system. Let that sink in. The best player you've had in decades. The one putting you back on the basketball map.
This is how you treat your prized possession. This is how you treat your cash cow. This is how you treat your savior. This is how you treat the young woman responsible for elevating this.
And your strategy is to mold her into something she's not? That's not just bad coaching. That's malpractice. Sophie Cunningham isn't handing out polite suggestions. She's handing Stephanie White the Dodo Bird of the Day award and daring her to prove her wrong. In Sophie's world, the truth doesn't get softened. It gets served raw. Because if you actually have a generational superstar, the job isn't to fit her in. The job is to build every single piece of your strategy around her and make everyone else adapt. Yet here we are, watching Caitlin Clark, an offensive dynamo, being shoehorned into a role that forces her to play out of position, to adjust into things she shouldn't even be doing. Sophie's message couldn't be clearer. You build around your star, not force your star to blend into the background. What we're seeing now is the exact opposite. Cunningham isn't tiptoeing through post-practice interviews. She's going in like a Navy SEAL on a precision strike, blasting through Stephanie White's carefully crafted talking points with the blunt force of a tornado hitting a trailer park. While White preaches integration and slowing down the game, Sophie's basically looking dead into the camera and yelling, "No, you build this roster so it revolves around Caitlin Clark. Full stop."
To Sophie Cunningham. Not only does she stand up for Caitlin Clark on the court, but she stands up for Caitlin Clark in the media as well. While Caitlin Clark gets pushed around, thrown to the floor during games, and teammates are...
And honestly, Sophie's right. Every night Caitlin takes the court. She's the engine, the heartbeat, the draw. You can see the difference with your own eyes. How the Fever offense drags its feet when she's being held back versus when she's fully unleashed. But here's the kicker. Stephanie White herself has admitted it. Post-game. In her own words, she has said that the team looks best when Caitlin's the primary decision-maker, when the ball runs through her. And yet somehow, after admitting that reality, she still changes things up, slows the pace, and takes the ball out of Caitlin's hands. That's the kind of coaching logic that makes your head spin. Caitlin's game isn't just speed and flash, it's IQ, vision, control. Take that away and you're cutting off the lifeblood of the team. Sophie's not just standing up for Clark during games, when she's getting knocked to the floor and ignored by teammates who don't even help her up, but she's also standing up for her in the media.
not doing anything, Sophie Cunningham will do something. While other players get a microphone put in front of them, doing their media interviews, while they regurgitate the same nonsense, the same word salad that Stephanie White lies says.
While others stand there in interviews regurgitating the same tired coach speak, Sophie says, "Nope, I'm not here for that." She's calling it exactly as it is. And she's doing it while Caitlin's getting visibly frustrated on the court, arms thrown up in disgust when the ball doesn't come back to her, especially from teammates like Natasha Howard. Clips of those moments spread online like wildfire, fueling debates about team chemistry and leadership. But it's not a mystery. The reality is simple. Caitlin Clark is the system. She's the show. You could put her out there with 4 traffic cones and the seats would still be packed. People aren't paying to see set plays and screen assists. They're paying to see Caitlin Clark be Caitlin Clark. Yet instead, we're watching her shoved into a system that slows her down, takes her off the ball, and sometimes even pushes her into small forward while someone else runs point.
I think that everyone saw that we kind of got some flow when Kate was hurt and our offense was clicking, but now we have to have a new offense.
Now we have to have a new offense. Translation, Stephanie White, that shit that you're trotting out there.
And get this, the Fever actually started a lineup with Ari McDonald at point, Kelsey Mitchell at shooting guard, and Caitlin Clark at small forward. A small forward. That's not creative strategy. That's sabotage disguised as experimentation. Are we doing a point forward LeBron James setup here? No. We're just running a muddled offense that doesn't seem to have a purpose. Sophie sees it. The fans see it. And the results prove it. The Fever are not clicking. And the one thing that could work, the pick and roll connection between Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston, has been tossed aside. Gone. Just like that. And for what? To run the ball through someone else? To shuffle the lineup like it's preseason every game? Sophie's had enough.
Motion offense garbage that you're trotting out there ain't gonna fly with a generational talent like Caitlin Clark. She's that damn good.
When Kate was hurt and our offense was clicking, but now we have to have a new offense when she's in there because she just brings.
The deeper you dig into this, the more absurd it gets. Sophie Cunningham isn't tossing out hot takes for clout. She's echoing what every basketball mind with a functioning brain cell can see. Caitlin Clark is being misused, not just a little misused. We're talking about having a Ferrari and using it to haul mulch from Home Depot. She's a once-in-a-generation offensive engine, the kind of player you rewire an entire franchise around. But instead of giving her the keys, Stephanie White is treating her like a role player who should just buy into a system that doesn't maximize her gifts. That's not coaching. That's a slow public sabotage of your own biggest asset. Sophie knows it, Caitlin knows it, and the fans, who are packing arenas like never before, definitely know it. The Fever aren't losing because of talent issues. They're losing because their strategy is an exercise in overcomplication. When Caitlin's running the show, the ball moves, the energy spikes, the defense stretches. But take the ball out of her hands, suddenly the offense clogs like a drain in a bad apartment. That's not just a dip in performance, that's basketball suicide. And then there's the body language.
Return in which, since this is a lady we're talking about, it looks like Stephanie White has spaded Caitlin Clark, for lack of a better way of putting it. If it was a dude, I'd say neutered, but,
Caitlin's frustration isn't hard to spot. She throws her arms up when plays die in the mud. She grimaces when open lanes go ignored. Cameras catch her glaring when a teammate dribbles the air out of the ball instead of swinging it back to her. Those aren't diva antics. Those are the natural reactions of a competitor watching her own team sabotage winnable possessions. Sophie sees all of it. That's why she's the one in the locker room who refuses to keep the peace for the sake of keeping the peace. And you better believe that makes her the most dangerous player off the court. Because she's not afraid to say what's on everyone's mind but too scared to voice. And the numbers back her up. When Caitlin's allowed to run point, the Fever's pace quickens, their spacing improves, and, shocker, the scoring goes up.
You get my point. She has taken away Caitlin Clark's greatest asset, which is the creator and instigator of offense.
When she's shoved into a wing spot and made to play off the ball, the offense turns into a slow, predictable grind that's easy for defenses to smother. This isn't theory, it's reality proven game after game. The fact that the coaching staff doesn't or won't see it is either willful blindness or ego at work. Sophie's not here for either. She said as much in so many words. This team should orbit around Caitlin Clark, not force her into orbit around everyone else. And when Sophie talks about players being on their own islands, she's not being poetic. She's describing a locker room where chemistry isn't built, where trust is a rumor, and where everyone's just trying to survive the next game without truly playing as a unit. That's not how you build a contender. That's how you build a reality show disaster. Even Caitlin herself has publicly said she needs the ball in her hands more, especially in transition. That's when she's lethal. That's when she breaks defenses. And yet, here comes Stephanie White talking about the Pacers and Tyrese Halliburton as a model for team first play.
Stephanie White, you deserve the Dodo Bird of the Day award. How do you want my precious CC to play defense every possession? Full out? Ain't no way. I played ball. Ain't nobody playing defense every possession.
This isn't the NBA. This is the WNBA, where Caitlin Clark isn't just a player. She's the single biggest draw the league has had in years. You don't use her as an example of how to defer. You use her as the example of how to take over. But instead, we're 20 games in and still running clunky sets that die halfway through. The Caitlin Aaliyah pick and roll, one of the only consistently effective weapons the Fever have, is nowhere to be seen. The 1-2 punch that actually scared defenses has been shelved for reasons that defy common sense. Instead, we get possessions where Caitlin stands in the corner while Arie McDonald dribbles up the floor. That's like telling Tom Brady to line up at wide receiver so your backup QB can get some reps. It's insane. And Sophie Cunningham isn't just hinting at it, she's screaming it. Her interviews aren't coded messages. They're direct warnings. Keep wasting Caitlin and you're going to lose more than games. You're going to lose the spark that's put this franchise back in the national conversation. The Fever's attendance surge? That's Caitlin. The jersey sales? Caitlin. The national media coverage? Caitlin. And yet, the way she's being used would make you think she's a rotational player. This is why Sophie's Dodo Bird of the Day line about Stephanie White stung so hard. It's because she's not wrong. You can respect someone and still call out their bad decisions. And this is bad. Monumentally bad. The Fever aren't in a rebuild. They're in a reset with the most marketable and skilled rookie in decades. And every game they waste by not running the offense through her is another step toward making this a what could have been story. Sophie's flamethrower of truth burns even hotter when you realize she's risking her own standing by saying it. She's not hiding behind anonymous quotes or passive-aggressive jabs. She's looking into the sea.
Unless you just great at defense and that's your job, you hear me? Don't you know she is an offensive player? You hear me? She scores. She facilitates. So she has to control and reserve her energy when it matters the most.